British.
Right, yeah.
So it's running on EL84s instead of 6v6s, which have a way different vocabulary. So the circuits on these are pretty similar. The transformers are very different because they're optimized for the power tubes. But EL84s have a really cool vocabulary, but you have to optimize your transformer just perfectly for it. Otherwise, it just kind of sounds generic. So this little amp gets really nice. You should hook a Les Paul into this actually and show you because it does a great little plexi imitation. So you hear all that sort of bark and quack like a big British amp has?
Yeah.
That's what Peter and I call that the lead pipe against the 2x4. That's a little subtle factor that separates the good British amps from the bad British amps. It's that clunk. Every guitar player knows what it is, and we don't have an adjective for it. But that's what we're trying to get with Elvis. We're going to go into a bigger cabinet just so you can hear a little more of that clunk. I have a 50-watt amp from Britain that does that thing. It's like conk, conk, conk. And it has that percussive attack and that little bit of compression on there at the same time. And so that was a really, really subtle factor we were trying to get in on a 12-watt amp. So as a guitar player, I feel like I have authority. You know, like when you talk about attenuators or other power scaling schemas or other low-powered amps, the one thing that every guitar player will tell you is, yeah, it sounds good, but I kind of feel neutered. And so we tried to avoid that on this. Like when I play this amp, I feel like a guitar player. You know, like I want to. Just like I do when I'm playing my old amp, and I'm just not killing myself. And I'm not killing the people in the front row of the show either. And I'm not killing the sound man, and I'm not killing the singer. So everybody's happy.
And do you find you get more orders for studios or live musicians?
You know, we do a lot of both. I mean, we're in LA, so we're kind of in the belly of the beast here. So like, there's 50 studios here in town where I have a good relationship with people. I'm like, you know, I was just telling Robert, someone will call, hey, I'm doing a session with so-and-so, and I was reading your website. This amp sounds great. Would you bring one over? Sure. If it works in the session, they just buy it. You know, it's usually on the budget for the record label. And then I have these amps sitting in studios, and some studio guy comes in, hey, I played through so-and-so's London. I really liked it, you know. So it's a little bit, it's like a virus.
The best kind.
Yeah, a good virus, and the kind that makes you better and stronger. We do a lot of business with studios and a lot of business with sidemen. Traditionally, our business is about 25% hardcore pros. You know, like not music store business at all. And you know, I have 15 producers here that kind of just buy one of everything we make every year. And then, strangely enough, where we've got a ton of traction is in Nashville. Like, I never thought these would be popular Nashville amps, but I sell, like, I hardly even have a dealer in Nashville because I sell so many direct. I get 2 calls a week from Nashville. Hey, I'm going out with so-and-so, can you cut me a deal? I just sell them to the same price as I sell them to dealers.
Yeah.
You know, so they can't undercut each other.
Yeah.
Because a lot of pros will buy them cheap and then turn around and just flip them.
Right.
And so it works out really well. But anyway, real quick before I forget, Lil Elvis with, I don't know, foot switch plugged in, I'll do it manually. With EL84s, and it's only 12 watts, I still have clean headroom with a Les Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't happen with a 12-watt amp. So, and the same thing here, you can take the voltage down on this. If I roll this down, we're barely pushing 2 watts right now. Distortion pedal around, it sounds that good. Give these tubes a little more voltage. voltage, and they stay biased, and the whole thing. This circuit's pretty unique. The tubes stay biased and function properly. We're not just arbitrarily dropping voltage on. We're making them function all the way down. Big difference. Bring it back up. Your camera might not get that, but we just had a dB increase of, where do we go, from 85 decibels to 115 right there. You know, there's a lot of vocabulary there. So you can set your breakup point wherever you want it. You get it where you like it and wait for the sound man to say, okay, or your singer. Let's say, for example, someone had a chick singer in the band, like Peter. You know, she signs it's a singer's gig. And traditionally, a lot of people don't want to hear a loud guitar amp behind, but they still want tone. You know, they still want to sound like a big guitar back there. So my build philosophy is sort of the opposite of most. You know, the more solder joints and parts you have to put in an amp, the less quality the sound is. So these particular amps just have a tone knob, but we actually have a bias tremolo where we have, and this little feature here I thought was huge, because what kills me about tremolo amps is you can never tell how fast it's going until you play it. So you can kind of time it a little bit. But it's a bias wiggling tremolo. Optical tremolos that's on most amps. It doesn't interrupt the signal. It's actually changing the bias on the tube, so the gain's going up and down and up and down. So what you should notice there is that you can still hear me picking notes. So with an optical tremolo, if you happen to hit the pick on the second that the signal's interrupted, there's no sound. You know, so this way you can still
When you take the intensity knob down, I heard a click there.
Oh, that's the switch. Yeah, because I don't have the foot switch plugged in here.
Oh, okay.
But it's normally run by the foot switch. But if you don't have your foot switch, you can control the bump and the tremolo by doing this. So it's just a fail-safe sort of thing.